Hey y'all, I'm Elisa and I am the Scrappy Wife behind scrappywife.com, and today I have a Bible journaling process video for you. I'm going to be working in My Peace, and this is a devotional from By the Well for God. I will link it below. It was just restocked back in their shop, so check it out. I've pulled out the devotion. I have several of the stamp sets, one that comes with the kit and several others that are available. I will be working on day 3, whole, where we are discussing what piece was translated from in the Bible, and it was a super interesting devotional, and I'll get a little bit more into that as we get going. But I will be working in day 3, and I am in Luke chapter 24. I have a little craft bag pulled for some layering, and I'm excited to get going. So I will put you on fast forward. Again, I will always link all of the supplies that I use below. Check those out. Those are affiliate links. It doesn't cost you anymore, but it does help support my channel, and I really appreciate it. Let's go. Okay, I am obsessed with the florals in this kit. They are so beautiful. They have kind of a vintage feel to them, but they're just the vintage florals and the colors. I just love, love, love this. So this is the stamp set that comes with the kit. It's called My Peace. I'm putting it on my biggest block because this is a very large stamp. And of course, the color of ink I want to use is only on a very little ink block. So I'm inking up with Versafine. It is, let me see the color. It's vintage sepia. And I am creating a background of florals here. I know that I want that craft bag on my page, and I want it to be backed by all of these florals. So I'm using the same stamp, inking it up several times, and then you'll see me also add a second generation stamp. And what that means is when you reuse the stamp, you stamp it once, and then when you stamp it the second time, it does come out lighter. But that's called a second generation stamp. And I like the dimension that that adds with the different shadings on the stamp. So now I've picked up the feather that also comes in the stamp set with the kit. Gorgeous. It's a little bit awkward, the placement that I choose on the page, but because part of it is covered up, I'm not really worried about how that's gonna turn out. Now I'm gonna grab another set of florals. This is the Autumn Blooms set for sale, still at the By the Well for God shop. Again, I'm using the same ink, and I'm not really worried about the overlapping. Again, I'm creating kind of a background for my page. I love this brown. I love it for the autumn. Usually I'm not a brown kind of gal. I like using black ink most of the time, but I like the tone that it's setting on this page and just the feel that it's giving me. I'm trying to fill in all the space, so I grab another smaller stamp set. You can see that I'm working from large stamps to small stamps as I'm filling in all of the area. Start with your largest stamps first, and then I'm moving into the smaller stamps, trying to decide how far up the page I want to go. If you do have this illustrating Bible, I highly recommend opening it up just like I've done here and putting a single page against a hard surface. Since I've started doing that, my stamp impressions have really, really improved. So open it up, get it as on hard of a surface as you can, or make sure you have a mat backing your stamp. I've moved my Bible out of the way and I've pulled out some watercolor paper, and I'm going to use the stamp set called Whole, which actually matches really well with this particular devotional, and I'm planning on creating my own die cut piece. I am inking it up with some Versafine Onyx black ink. You can see that this is a really juicy pad, and so it kind of gets messy. One of the pluses to creating your own die cut pieces outside your Bible is you'll see right here my first stamp impression is not great, and I'm able to redo it easily and get a really clean impression that I can watercolor with. I am using Versafine ink because it is a waterproof ink. It gives me the most crisp lines of any of my inks, and this way I will be able to watercolor over the image and make my own die cut piece. I am using the watercolor set that comes in the kit. to fill in this beautiful mason jar and all of these gorgeous fall florals. And while I do that, let's talk a little bit about the devotion. Like I mentioned before, I'm in day 3 of the My Peace devotional. And in this day, we are talking about 2 different translations of peace in the Bible, or peace is translated from 2 different words. And the first is a Hebrew word called shalom, and the second is a Greek word called irene. And both of those words really break down to meaning whole or complete or the coming together of something, and that creates this peace. What really struck me in reading that was just the uniqueness of the peace that comes from Jesus, because it is a whole feeling. There's nothing that can complete you in the same way as the love of Christ. And we often look for things here on earth, and I am certainly guilty of looking for quick fixes and ways to relieve anxieties and things like that. But it's really the completeness that comes from your relationship with Christ that creates that kind of peace that really can't be found in other places. The devotional has us looking at the end of the book of Luke, and Luke 24:36 says, "As they were talking about these things, Jesus himself stood among them and said to them, 'Peace to you.'" And what I'm imagining is the disciples were feeling lost. There were bits and pieces of the story of the resurrection that were coming to them. They didn't really know what to do. And Jesus shows up and says, "Peace to you." He completes them. He completes their group once again. They don't have to feel lost because they now have him there forever in spirit. I am really enjoying this devotional, and the thing that I've pulled out of it so far that's really hitting me hard is just the uniqueness of the peace that Jesus offers us. Okay, I'm almost done here with the watercoloring. You can see I'm adding just the shading in on the mason jar. I didn't get too detailed in this, a little bit of shading here and there, but nothing too crazy. I'm going to come back with these metallic watercolors. I love this set. I use it all the time. And I'm adding it in over top some of the colors just for a little metallic hint. You know me, I love some shimmer, a little bit of glitter. I held off on the glitter this time and just added a bit of shimmer with these metallics just to help set this off even more. This piece really will stand out on my page because it's the only color. Everything else was in that vintage sepia. And I'm pretty excited about how this piece turns out. Off camera, I fussy cut out my mason jar and floral piece, and now I'm going to start assembling the page. And this next part is a lesson in why washi tape is awesome. So I have this beautiful washi tape from the Auburn Lane collection, and this is a paper from the Auburn Lane collection from Pink Paisley, and I'm going to mount my little craft bag onto the paper, just add a really slight little border just to set it off from all of the florals that are already on the page. And I love this washi tape, but you'll see later on I kind of changed my mind. It ended up being just not what I was looking for exactly. I think I just wanted something with a little bit more texture, and this was very flat. Everything on the page was feeling a little bit flat, and so you'll see later I am able to pull up washi tape, and that is why I think Bible journalers love washi tape, because we often change our minds, and if you are careful, you can always pull it up and try again. I know that some are stickier than others, but I was able to pull this up and not hurt my page, and for that's one of the reasons I just love this particular supply. So, adhering all my main elements down, and now I'm going to decide how I want to title my page. I end up deciding on the Aged Mahogany Distress Oxide ink, which goes really nicely with this kit. It's kind of that rich maroon color, and I'm using some stamps from some different sets. The first one is from the same set that the mason jar came from, and it is whole. And I will get that stamped on my little bag, and then I'm going to add some alpha stickers. I love, love, love these clear alpha stickers, and my title will eventually say, "Your Peace Makes Me Whole." And I'm mixing up some different stamps and alpha stickers and decide I found the word peace in the My Peace stamp set that comes with the kit, with the original kit purchase. And then finally I'm going to use these tiny tile alphas to fill in the last couple of words. I really like mixing and matching these different sets. I think it adds an extra interest and dimension to your page. So try mixing it up. Try using your hand lettering mixed in with some other elements and see what you come up with. My next step is coming up with my tab at the top. I still love using these tabs, and I decide, well, I'll anchor it with the same washi tape. And this is when I really start to dislike that washi tape, because to me, I just can't make it work up top. I just don't like how heavy it looks for some reason. It's just not coming across like I'm wanting to, and you can see me, I fiddle with it. I add a ribbon. I'm gonna kind of mess around, and eventually I decide, you know what, I don't want that washi tape. It's too heavy. It's not what I was looking for. And so I pull it off and think maybe I'll add it down here. And then here's where I decide, I'm like, nope, I'm gonna take it off the whole thing. And I work, this is sped up. I really pulled it slowly to make sure I didn't rip. I pull it off, and I already like that look much better. And I'm trying to decide, do I want to add it on again? And I pull it off again and decide, nope, that washi tape was not what I was wanting. So I do decide to put that tab up top, and I temporarily put that ribbon up there, but you'll see I kind of changed my mind on that. When a page is so heavy on the bottom, sometimes I have trouble with the balance of the tab at the top, if that makes sense. It felt like it was coming out of nowhere, that tab. And so there's that washi tape. I can use it to secure the ribbon down until I change my mind. My next step is embellishing the tag that I intended to go in my little pocket so I can write some journaling. And I pull out that same washi tape because the truth is it's gorgeous and I want to use it if possible. And I'm going to trim out the tag with the washi tape. You'll see me kind of trim around the edges here. And then I'm going to add some shading. Of course, this whole page kind of has a vintage fall feel, and the color of that tag is very stark and very white. And so I come back and kind of shade it with some different distress ink. Right after I finish cutting off all of this excess washi, I probably could have been a little bit more thrifty in my use of the washi for this project, but that's okay. I have yet to run out of a roll of washi, and I would be super interested to hear if any of you have ever run out of a roll of washi, because I have all the rolls of washi, all the colors, all the things, and I use them, but I don't run out of them. So let me know if you have ever run out of a roll of washi. I think I need to know about it, and I think I need to know what it looked like, because apparently it's the best washi ever. So here you see I'm taking some Distress Oxide ink and I am rubbing it on my card. I'm going to come add in a little bit more shading with the vintage photo color along the edges to give it that nice antiqued look. And I will add a sticker to the bottom of my card from the kit and call that done. I will add journaling off camera after I'm done with the pictures so that it stays a little bit private there. And I'm super pleased with the look of how that card came out. I love that the stickers in this kit are on clear sticker paper because they really just melt into the paper that you put it on, and it looks as if you watercolored it there yourself. Love that look. Now, the last element that I find for my page really pulls it together, and I'm so pleased with how it came out. So I found this beautiful ribbon in my stash that's kind of a deep burgundy, and I'm going to add it as the ribbon for my tag. And after I do that, I realized that it kind of clashes with the ribbon up top, so I take off that tabby and decide to incorporate that same burgundy ribbon with extra stitching onto multiple parts of my page. And you'll see it ends up in the same areas that the washi tape was in. But because it has a texture to it and has that extra detail stitching, I was really pleased with the final result of that choice. This was a fun page to do. It was an example of, keep working on something until you feel really good about it. Don't feel like you can't change your mind partway through on a project. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as that bell notification button. I hope you have a fantastic day, and as always, keep it creative.